let me tell you something that almost nobody talks about when it comes to building wealth. Your first $20,000 is going to take you about 19 months to save. But your second $20,000, that one only takes 17. And your third, 15. And your fourth, 12. Here's the strange part. You didn't get a raise. You didn't start working harder. You didn't cut your spending. Nothing changed about you. So what's actually happening? Why does saving get easier the longer you do it, even when your income stays exactly the same? That's what I want to walk you through today. Because once you understand this, once you really see it, the way you think about money quietly shifts. And I think it might be the most important shift you can make in your 20s, 30s, or even your 40s. I call it the wealth boulder. Let me show you how it works. Picture this. You're standing at the bottom of a hill. In front of you is a boulder. And your job, the only job that really matters financially, is to get that boulder to the top. At the bottom of the hill, the boulder doesn't move on its own. It just sits there. Heavy, stubborn, indifferent to your effort. Every dollar you save is you leaning your shoulder into that boulder and pushing hard. In the beginning, it feels like nothing is happening. You save $100, then $500, then $1,000. You check your account and you think, is this it? Is this all I have to show for months of discipline? That's the part most people quit. Not because they're lazy, not because they don't care, but because the boulder feels exactly as heavy on day 200 as it did on day 1. Here's what nobody tells you. That feeling is temporary, and the math behind it is actually on your side. You just can't see it yet, because you're still at the bottom of the hill. Let me give you the real numbers. No exaggeration, no get-rich-quick math, just the boring, beautiful truth.
Let's say you save $1,000 a month, and let's say your money earns a reasonable 7% average return per year, which is roughly what a low-cost index fund has done historically over long periods. Here's what happens. To save your first $20,000, it takes you about 19 months. That's a year and a half of consistent effort, and you barely see any growth.
The interest is a rounding error. It's all you pushing the boulder. But to save your second $20,000, it only takes about 17 months. Your third $20,000? Around 15 months. Your fourth, 13. Your fifth, 12. By the time you're working on your 10th $20,000, it's taking you closer to 7 or 8 months to reach the same milestone. And you haven't changed a single thing about how much you earn or save. So where is that extra money coming from? It's coming from the boulder. Because at some point, the boulder you've been pushing up the hill reaches the top. And it starts rolling down the other side, on its own, with momentum, doing the work for you. That's compound interest. And the moment it kicks in is the moment your financial life quietly changes forever. Now, I want to be careful with the word free, because nothing about building wealth is actually free. You still have to save, you still have to be patient, you still have to not panic when the market dips. But here's what I mean. When you're working on your first $20,000, 100% of the progress comes from you. Every dollar in that account is a dollar you personally earned, personally redirected, and personally protected from being spent. By the time you're working on your second $20,000, something interesting starts happening. A small slice of your progress, maybe 5, 6, 7%, isn't coming from your paycheck anymore. It's coming from the first $20,000, quietly earning interest in the background. By your third 20, that slice grows. By your fifth, a meaningful chunk of your savings every month is being contributed by money you already saved years ago. This is the part that feels almost unfair when you finally see it. The earlier dollars start hiring their own little workers. Those workers earn money.
then those dollars hire workers too. And the whole thing just compounds. That's why the second 20,000 feels free. Not because you didn't work for it, but because the boulder finally started pushing back in the right direction. There's a specific moment in this process that almost nobody talks about. I want to name it for you because once you know it exists, you'll start watching for it. It's the moment your money earns more in a year than you can save in a month. Let me say that again, because it's important. The moment your investments generate more in a single year than you're able to put in from your paycheck in a single month, that's the moment the boulder is officially over the top of the hill. For most people saving consistently, that moment happens somewhere between year 5 and year 8. It depends on your income, your savings rate, and your returns. But it happens, and when it does, you cross a threshold that's almost impossible to go back from, as long as you don't dismantle what you've built. Here's the strange thing about that moment. You probably won't notice it when it happens. There's no alert, no confetti, no email from your brokerage saying congratulations, you've officially crossed over. It just happens, quietly, while you're at work, while you're making dinner, while you're scrolling on your phone. But after that moment, the math of your life is different, permanently. I want to be honest with you about something. A lot of financial content online is built around urgency. Make more money, start a side hustle, flip something, hustle harder. And look, there's nothing wrong with earning more. Earning more genuinely helps.
But the thing nobody monetizes on YouTube is patience. Because patience doesn't sell courses, it doesn't sell coaching programs, it doesn't sell ad space. And yet, patience is the single most powerful financial asset most people will ever own. The reason the Wealth Boulder works isn't because you're smart. It isn't because you picked the right stock. It isn't because you timed the market. It works because time is the one ingredient compound interest cannot function without. A person who saves modestly for 30 years almost always ends up wealthier than a person who saves aggressively for 10, even if the second person saves twice as much per month. The math is just that lopsided in favor of time. So if you're in your 20s watching this and you feel behind, you're not. You're standing at the bottom of the hill with the longest possible runway in front of you. That is a gift, even when it doesn't feel like one. And if you're in your 40s watching this and you feel like it's too late, it's not. The boulder still rolls. It just rolls a shorter distance. And a shorter distance with a rolling boulder still beats standing still. So if you take nothing else away from this video, take these 3 things. First, protect the first 20,000. It's the hardest one. It's the slowest one. It's the one you'll be most tempted to dip into. Don't. That first 20 is the engine. It's what hires all the future workers. If you spend it, you're firing the workforce before it ever starts. Second, automate the boring part. The reason most people never feel the boulder roll is that they keep stopping and starting. They save for 3 months, then take a break, then save again. The boulder never builds momentum because the hands keep coming off it. Set up an automatic transfer, even a small one, and let it run quietly in the background. Consistency beats intensity here every single time. Third, stop checking the score every week. The boulder doesn't move visibly in a week or a month, sometimes not even in a year. You're not going to see the groove bend until you've given it time to bend. Looking at your portfolio every day is like pulling up a seed to see if it's growing. You just damage the roots. That's it. That's the whole strategy. There isn't a secret fund. There isn't a special account. There isn't a trick.
There's just a boulder, a hill, and the quiet, almost boring decision to keep pushing until the day it starts pushing for you. Your first 20,000 is the hardest money you'll ever save. Not because of the amount, but because it's the only 20,000 you'll ever save entirely on your own. Every dollar after that has help. So if you're in the middle of pushing right now, if it feels heavy, if it feels slow, if it feels like nothing is happening, I just want you to know that something is happening. You can't see it yet, but the boulder is moving. The hill is shrinking, and the moment when it tips over the top is closer than you think. Keep pushing. The math is on your side. You just have to stay in the game long enough to feel it. I'll see you in the next one.